Hello, my Virtual Homeschool Co-op friends. Today we are talking about assignment number 3, and that's how do you use reading lists in your homeschool. If you've come by this video by some other means and you're not familiar with what the Virtual Homeschool Co-op is, I would really encourage you to check the link below and go over to that website and check it out. There's lots of families that are contributing to this forum where we're just talking about different topics every week and giving each other encouragement and ideas of how other homeschool families are doing different things. So if you're interested, just hop over there, and I would encourage you to just check it out because it's really great for anybody who's looking for some encouragement. In the meantime, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do in our homeschool for some reading lists. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so reading lists. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos or you followed along in my channel, then you know that we only have one young child in our school this year. And he is in between preschool and kindergarten. He's not quite yet reading, but we're getting there. We're getting close. So he knows all of his letters and sounds, and he's kind of moving in that direction. So as far as reading lists go, just keep in mind that we are a little bit young, so we don't necessarily have a need for extensive reading lists in our school. But I do have some strategies that I'm using, so I'm going to share those things. And there's lots of other really great people that have contributed great information, so I'm going to try to keep this video short so that you can see what everybody else is doing as well, because there's a lot of good information out there. So as far as reading lists go, the first question, I'll try and follow Trisha's questions pretty close just so that all of the videos are uniform in the information they're giving. So my first question is, where do you get your book list? Now, I do have one resource where I got the book lists from last year, and that was from the curriculum from Confessions of a Homeschooler. And I purchased her K4 curriculum this year, and it did not come with a book list. So I'm kind of going off of the curriculum, the letters of the week curriculum that she has, and she gave a really great book list for each letter that went along with the theme for that letter of the week. And we've kind of carried that over. I do pull a lot of books from that list because I have copied some of those themes, not all of them, and it's not A, B, C, D necessarily, but we did do apples. So for the apples theme, I did pull a couple of books from her list there, and then I also did for the dinosaur themes that we're doing this current week. So so that was a great resource because it did have a multitude of books that were kind of under the same theme. As far as getting book lists this year, I'm mostly just going along with whatever theme that we have and using my library's search options, just like the catalog search, and trying to find children's books that are under that theme. I get nonfiction and fiction books just depending on whatever theme we're on, just so that we can get a good sampling of educational books as well as fun stories that go along with that theme. So that's kind of where I've been getting most of the books that we've been working on this year, and I think that I'll probably carry that through the end of the semester, which for us will be at the end of December. And then when January hits, we will be a little bit further along in our reading skill, so I will kind of up the ante and look for other opportunities or other book lists that we want to do. Okay, question number 2 is, how big is your book list? Currently, I do about 4 books a week, or excuse me, 4 books a month, 1 book every week. And our books are really short and small because I have a young reader in our home, but it goes along with whatever theme we have, and I try to have Cameron read that book, that 1 book throughout the week. We usually read it 2 or 3 times, and I try to get it so that by the end of the week, he can tell me the story by memory based on the pictures that he sees throughout the book. So sometimes they're longer, like wordy books, so we can't like memorize the words, but he can tell me the story. So it is a little bit of that comprehension and retelling skills that we're going for. Okay, so the third question is, how do we assign reading? And for us, we try to read every day. We read twice every day. So one time during his school time, we will read 1 or 2 books. Sometimes that will happen during our group minute. It's not very long, but our group time, and sometimes that will happen in his work boxes. If you've seen some of my work box videos, then you'll notice that I'll put some books in the work box and he will know that he needs to read. but he can choose whatever book that he wants to read during that time. We also read just before bed, and my husband and I switch off with the kids, and we will read one story while he's in bed just before going to sleep, and he chooses the book and then we'll read. So it's not necessarily assigned reading in that he needs to answer questions or that we have like a reading expectation. It's just getting in books and finding a love of reading, and that stories are fun, and that kind of is the idea that I'm going for. I do have an incentive to read. We have these reading logs that I got from Teachers Pay Teachers, and they look like this here, and we color in each of the whatever it is for that month. So if it's May, then there's clouds and pumpkins and whatever, apples for September. And then if he fills in all of his little pictures, then then we will go out and he can get a special toy, or we'll take him to a restaurant and have a family dinner, or we have some kind of reward if he can pull it from the reward bucket, or anyway, there's all kinds of different things that he can choose from that we do as a reward for finishing his reading. So we do have an incentive, and we do kind of log the days that we do read so that he can see his progress as it goes along. So the fifth question is, do we quiz for comprehension? The answer is yes and no. So I do have some activities that I quiz for comprehension just as we try to build that skill, but it isn't, I don't do it all of the time. So sometimes when we have our scripture time in the morning, then I will quiz him for comprehension at the end of scripture time. Sometimes I have actual reading comprehension assignments that we do as a part of his daily learning notebook. And those assignments, again, just test for comprehension. So as far as just reading a story and then doing comprehension, we're not there yet. Again, we have a really young reader. So right now we're just trying to get into books and enjoy having books as a part of our home life, not necessarily like a school life per se. So anyway, so that's what we do in our home, and it is mostly successful. As we kind of grow older, we'll see where this journey takes us, but I do enjoy having books in our home, and we have a really relatively small library that we choose from, but the public library is a great resource that we often use, and are always trying to have new books in our home that we can read. So anyway, if you have any questions, or I didn't explain something well enough, make sure you check the link below. And also in the description box, I will put the links for those reading logs that I got from Teachers Pay Teachers if you're interested in having those. Make sure that you subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos like this, and make sure that you check out the Virtual Homeschool Co-op, because there's some great collaboration that's happening. So anyway, hope to see you guys back here in our next video. Have a good one.